I guess I'm a retired football coach. I have collegiate experience for 10 years and then 5 years in 5A South Carolina or 4A. Won region championships in three of the four places that I was at, or two of the three places I was at. And just happy to be here, happy to be a part of the channel.
Stan Bedwell was most recently offensive coordinator at Minnesota State Community and Technical College. I guess the bulk of my career has been in Europe. I played and coached in Europe from 2006 to 2019 every year. Playing every year, coordinator a few, head coach, quarterback, and OC, most of the years all in one. I've came back. I've been a coordinator at the collegiate level for 5 years, a position coach for 2 more years, and just right now I got something in the works to get back in the college, back at the 4-year level, and hopefully that'll be all finalized soon. Like you typically we would call it yellow zone, which would be about -6 to the -15. And in that area, we like to run our shallow crosses. We like to have a screen, and then we usually carry a run into that script. And that really doesn't change for the entire year. So being down in that part of the field, shallows we probably call more than anything else. And so essentially what we're going to do here is we're going to line the back up to the field. We'll flash fake with him, and our eyes are just going to be on the outside backer over number 2 to the field. And we just have the Y running. We do our vertical pass set with the O-line, so we're trying to get about 3 yards deep. And we just tell that Y to run right off the heels of the defensive line, 40-yard dash as fast as he can. Reading right off of that outside linebacker, we outside release him with number 2. If he turns his shoulders to run, we're going to treat it as man, and we're looking just to pop off that shallow route. If he if he widens or pushes him out and keeps his shoulders square, then we're assuming it's going to be a zone. So now what we're doing, we're going to just kind of look at him until our dig gets to 10 yards, and then he's going to break off, and he's going to look for the first open window if it's zone. If it's man, he's just going to keep running across. And so when he gets to that open window, we always feel like we can find a spot behind the backers there. Now, the key is going to be if the backers are the key is going to be we're peeking as we look at that dig. If the safety jumps down on the dig, then we're taking a shot over top with the post. And we get in trouble, we just find the backside. So the back is crossing over, and he's going to, from a protection standpoint, we've got the back's going to cross over, and he's going to be looking at that stacked linebacker over the end to the boundary. And so if he comes, he's going to pick him up. Otherwise, he'll go on his route, and then we'll be 5 for 5 with the others. And obviously, if the outside backer on the field side blitzes, then we have a hot right there to pop it off right away through the dig. We see it as a high completion. We usually complete the shallow concept about 80% of the time. And we really try to get it to the shallow. A lot of people will read it like high to low. We're trying to throw the ball to the shallow. We're not looking for a huge play, but what we want to do is get some movement, get those backers moving, get a nice completion, get those big guys on the D-line running sideline to sideline right off the bat. But also by going vertical with the 2 guys on the outside, we're kind of stressing them in several different ways there. We have the chance for the big shot.
It's spin weak, and that way we can get a 4th man in, so we're not on first down, kind of an area to take a shot, maybe give us a 4th rusher. So since it's a pass play, when the will backer's looking to blitz, he's going to read the high hat, low hat read of the guard to his side. So if he gets a high hat read, he's going to make him wrong. So if it's slide to the field, instead of running into that wall and A-gap, he'll stick him inside and work his way out and become like a true 3 technique where he'll take a 2-way go. The defensive ends are 5 techniques, depending on where the back is to the backside, because he's probably going to become the quarterback player. He'll play a little bit tighter in case it's inside zone so he can squeeze it down and watch the cue. Away from it, he's going to get a little bit wider adjustment, so that way if it's inside zone or anything like that, he can play it and box it in because he's our edge player because of the bandit coming down weak. And then with the bandit coming down weak, he's our here player. He's going to be the shuffle guy, so if it would run and come to him, the ball fit is made to get to him and the Mike. So right now the Mike would have that front side A gap, but with the bandit coming down, he becomes your B gap player. And with like a zone with one back run right now, that's the only gap open. So he has time to come down, get his feet hot, and then play off there. And we can also track that in and put him into B gap, and that way he can keep the bandit outside, which I wish I probably would have done. The Mike is looking to the back. He's reading the triangle. He's looking at the guard. He's got the front side B gap, and that way the Sam, if he needs to push out or we need to extend him out, we can do that. So we have an extra player over there. So by bringing the Will, we got a little bit of diversity. The Spur is going to be apex between two and the end man of the line of scrimmage, and he's right there. He's the extra guy, really. Like we could send him too if I didn't want to send the Will, and he's a flat player, so he's looking 3 to 2 in the receivers, and that way he can get out because his eyes got to be in the backfield. And he's also like his read for the Spur is going to be the offensive tackle. And if he's going to get a high hat, low hat read as well. So if he sees high hat, he can work in there and help us out. Or if he sees if he sees high hat, he can drop to the zone. And if he sees low hat, he can help us out in the run game. And he's got the Sam in there, so he doesn't have to rush in there. The end should spill it. It should get to him. He can box it in back to the backer. Let's see. Sam backer, he's stacked up because it's 2x2. All the backers are. So what he gets to do is he's pretty much our extra guy. Like if he sees something flow fast, he can go down and fit it based off of like just flow keys, because we're reading the triangle, but we're really working off flow. So if he sees that it's vertical, he can get down, and then the Mike becomes our over player. So if our end spills it, the Mike can wrap over. They kind of adjust each other. So there's gap exchanges there based off of whatever flow we get. The corners are just gonna disguise. Hopefully they'll come down and look like cover 2, and then get out a little bit and get inside and get about 6 yards at the snap. There are ultimate contain guys to the backside of the front side. They're going to push contain through the receivers, and the free safety is our post player. So he's the home run. He's the last guy. He's the alley runner. And on the pass reads, they're looking to the strength. We always number our receivers 1 to 3. On the backside, we number them 4 to 5. So the bandit's looking 4 to 5. The corner can look 5 to 4 and work his way through in his zone for the deep third. And if there's any kind of exchange that happens, like after it pushes vertical, then obviously the bandit can switch on like the wheel routes and stuff. The free safety's looking 3. If 3's out of the core, he's looking 3, 2 to 1. Right now, he's going to look 2 to 1 because those are his vertical threats. The Spur is going to make sure as he pushes through the pattern match, hands on number 2. Don't let him get a free vertical release. Push to the flat, match the flat. Don't jump it. Don't jump anything under 5 yards. The bandit, because he's coming down to be the weak side flat player, is 4 to 5, like I said. But because he's down, the backers have to push away because the spacing won't be right otherwise. And so the Mike is like your true hole player. He's looking 3 to 2. He's seeing what's going on. If 3 stays in the core, then all of a sudden he becomes an extra guy in the rush, or you can quarterback spine. We're not doing that right now. And then if he sees 3 get out, then he's going to push with 3 right now. So with him running shallow, what should happen is to the shallow side, we should get a shallow call, and immediately the backside backer should push for the dig. So like from the Y side, right there, as soon as we get it, the Mike will see that. He'll cross his face. He'll let it run, and he's got 2 guys over there, and he's going to look for the dig. So hopefully we can steal that dig. I think that's everybody. The free is just working his way through the post, 12 to 15, and then just getting depth as he needs to carry that post. So the middle of the field's close. The first thing I'm gonna do, because we get empty check, we're gonna go ahead and twist in the boundary. So I got the end is gonna play a text game, so he's gonna come up field 2 steps, get underneath of it. Nose is gonna sell it. Wait till they see their shoulder pads are at the same depth. So 2, 3 steps up the field, then they're gonna try to rub hips and exchange. That way, if it's Q draw or anything like that, it should be able to mess up the gaps a little bit, and it gives us a little bit of variation on the 3-man rush.
Hey, Coach Hill. Sorry, man. The timer popped up. My bad. Go right ahead, man. You can start back over. Just a touch. Go back to right after the shoulders get square, and then you go.
All right. So when right now, or are you going to do a new one?
Yeah. Go ahead. Start.
Okay.
Yep.
So when the nose and the end are both pushing upfield, we're going to get a little bit wider on our alignment with the defensive end to try to get that tackle to really set wide on him, and that way he can dip underneath of him and 2-way go the guard again. The nose is going to work 2-3 steps upfield. He's watching him, making sure they're on the same level. As soon as their shoulder pads are on the same level and the end commits, then the nose is going to wrap off his hip and become the contained rusher. And so with that defensive end, with the two-way go, we're telling them find an open door. If you got guard and tackle like this, go to A gap. If they're apart, fight the B gap, make the guard wrong. Defensive end of the field is going to be a little bit wider, and he's contained. We're playing strong cloud coverage to it. So because there are 4 receivers over there, the spur will have to bump out and split 2 and 3. He's going to be your seam player. The corner is running a trap cover 2 look. So he's reading 2 to inside of 3. And so anything that comes out to the flat, he can be really aggressive because we're sending our free safety over the top, and he's going to play that third, and he's going to look 3 to 2 to 1 because I don't think 4 is going to run a wheel. And if it does, hopefully we get there. The bandit becomes your post player. And so he's looking 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. So he's looking inside out from the nearest threat. He's just trying to get depth and make sure he's deeper than the deepest, which is a really generic term, but he's not going to get beat in center field. And the Sam is going to push him wall 4. So if anything tries to cross it, or like if he sees 4 come in, he's going to try to jam it and then get out and then pass it off to the Mike because we're pattern matching. But if 4 would go out, then his eyes are going to go 3 to 2. So because we are pattern matching. So he's just matching any route to the flat and picking up anything. So him and the Mike ought to be able to exchange anything that comes across. And then if like we got a vertical from any of the inside guys, 3 or 4, whoever's coming in, the Sam's going to, like if it's 4's trying to go vertical on us, the Sam's going to try to get hands on, and the Mike's going to drop off of 4 because that's who he's usually looking, like 4 to 3 or 3 to 4. And so then the Mike can actually help carry any vertical threat through there to help the bandit out. So that way it's kind of bracketed. And then the Sam can push and help as well with 3 to 2 to 1. So we should be pretty safe there on the pass. The Will on the backside is just a standard flat player. He's extra just to make sure if they try to like get us in quads and then try to throw a comeback or something to the field, trying to get us for that 11 yards or 15 back to 12. So really on the backside, it's regular cover 3, and then it's just a trap cover 2 rolling over 3 high. But it gives us a little bit of variation. It lets the Will play wider by bringing the end inside. And if it's a run play, the nose can just stay front side. So the nose is really reading that run pass read. So if he gets a regular pass read, he can stay in his gap and we'll be fine. He'll stay backside A gap. And so then the Mike would have A, and then the Sam would have B, which isn't ideal, but they're an empty. So quarterback run out of empties hurting us when we got problems.
What is we're gonna jet motion our back to the field. That's essentially going to tell the quarterback if a 6th man comes, and he's going to have to get the ball off hot, and he's just going to flip it off to that back. So with our single receiver to the boundary, we're looking at matchup there. If we like that, we could just catch it, put it up to him. But otherwise, what we're going to do is we're going to catch. We're going to earlier in the game, we're going to do this motion, and we're going to do it a time or two, and we're going to throw that swing with the back. And so now what we're going to do, we're going to come out and we're going to pump that swing. And then we're just looking like our typical 4 verts rules. So, number 3 is crossing to the opposite hash. We basically tell him to play playground football, avoid the defenders, and just try to get to a spot opposite hash anywhere from about 12 to 18 yards. If there's a blitz over the middle, he's going to get his eyes quick. But what they are going to do through their routes, they're going to slow play it up. So it's what we would call fox, but they're going to make eye contact with the defender over them. They're going to stalk block them up. They're going to wait for their eyes to look at that back in the back that's motioned out. The second that their eyes go over, they're going to they're going to get into their routes. So basically after we pump, the first thing we're looking for is just to throw that Y that's coming back across the field, kind of away from the motion, opposite of the motion. If we don't get that, our eyes are just going to carry over to number 2 on the trip side. He's going to be on about the hash, and what he's doing is he's going to work up slowly. He's going to outside release his defender. If he's got grass, he's going vertical. If there's a safety that's rolled over top of him, then he's going to get up to about 10 yards, and he's going to settle it down, and he can work inside or out. And then what we're doing with number 1 over there to the field, he's going to work up, same thing, wait for the defender to get his eyes or to make him move. He's going to go vertical down the bottom of the numbers. And essentially what he's going to do, if the defender jumps, he's getting his head around and we're popping it there quick. If the defender's disciplined and he just stays in coverage, then he's going to read man or zone turn. So if that defender turns his shoulders outside with him on the outside release, he's just going to try to stack him and win vertical. If that defender turns his shoulders inside, we treat that as a zone turn. And if he turns his shoulders inside, all we're going to do is work up to about to his blind spot or to about 10 to 12 yards. And then we're just going to do what we call a fallout. So it's not a true comeback because we want to keep our eye. We're basically to the blind spot of the defender. But what we don't want to do is if our quarterback's in here and we're in the defender's blind spot over here, we don't want to turn out where our eyes are not on the quarterback either because now we're both blind. So what we're going to do instead is open up towards the quarterback and fall out. And that gives that quarterback just a lot of space to throw the ball there. So essentially just reading it crosser to seam to numbers. And then our fourth read would be the back, or if our hot read would be to the back if they blitzed. And then for 1 and 2, they've got reads off the defenders. Number 2, again, is reading. If he's covered up by the safety, he's going to set it down at 10. And number 1 is just reading man or zone. If it's a man turn, then he's going to go vertical. If it's a zone turn, gets into that blind spot and falls out. But once we get down here, we're close to the red zone area. We want to take a second down and 10. So it's kind of that down where a lot of people would be looking to say, hey, let's cut it and make it a manageable third down, 3rd and 5, something like that. We want the defense thinking that, and this is where we want to, take a shot off of one of those safe plays and see if we can score on it. So what we're doing here is we're so effective on running the ball in short yardage situations because everybody expects us to pass all the time, and because we also have abnormally wide splits. I'll pull this out real quick and throw the phone up to the screen, see if it works. Because I just sent this to a coach a minute ago when we were talking about our splits. So there's a look at our splits at a high school hash this past year. So, we really, really widen out those O-linemen. So essentially what we're lining up here doing right now is we're going to have the single receiver. There's always going to be that option there if we wanted to, if they're off in any of our runs, we could give a hitch or we could give what we call an outlaw, which is just a 5-yard out. So essentially about a 4 or 5 yard hitch or out. If they're giving us space, we're just going to catch it, throw that, get the easy first down. To the field, we're going to have a quick screen to number 1. So if we widen those guys out quite a bit. And so essentially, if we got 2-on-1 there, we're just going to throw it out there. Our Y's are bigger bodies, so we like that matchup with them blocking a corner. And then our Z can at least get upfield, get us the first down. But what we're thinking right here is to run the ball, unless they're giving us one of those. And it's what we call 35. It's our lead draw. Essentially, it's an ISO. It's not really a delay draw. We just catch and give it. But the way we read that for our H, our lead blocker, it's the same protection. It's actually the exact same scheme as if we were going 6-man pass protection with that H block. And the only difference is instead of setting, now we're stepping up and blocking them. We'll keep it really simple for those guys in the protection and in the run game. We try to keep them the same scheme or same bodies, I guess, that we're blocking. But yeah, essentially we're just running an ISO there, and if we got a 0, then that play side guard is he's just gonna step down, and we're gonna double down that nose to the backside backer. If we were, it'd be the same if we had a 1. If we did, or a 2-eye, if we did have a 3, now if we had a 3 technique as a D tackle, now we're gonna ask. We're thinking we're probably hitting it in the A gap now instead of the B gap. But if they're trying to play games or something there, well, all we tell that guard to do with the 3 tech is take him wherever he wants to go. So if he does slant across your face, just push him into the A gap, we're going to hit B gap. If he stays if he stays and he's holding that B gap, you really don't have to push and just kind of wall him off, and we're going to hit right off your ass and get up there and get the first down.
In a 5-man, the corners, they're pressed up, and then going to bail out. And then the free safety and the boundary is going to spin down and be our outside guy. So that allows our bandit to start being the shuffle player. So he's going to have normal alignment, and we're going to put the defensive end in a true 4-eye, like on the shoulder. And he's just going to go hit the inside shoulder of that gap and read the guard. So if the guard gives him a butt read, he can run and bend. If the guard gives him a face read, he can fight the face and stay vertical. And that way, the nose will work a gap with him. And if it's a pass, it becomes an automatic wrap with the nose. So that way we have a contained rusher. And then the bandits out there is our quarterback player or shuffle player. So like right now, they're going to run ISO weak. It should go into the B gap, and the bandit should be able to fit it up and get it back to get it actually spill it to the free is what we'd want. And the Sam's running a blitz, so he's going to run at the inside shoulder of the guard, and he's going to stick it on his toes, and he's going to try to rip across his numbers on the outside and pull his shoulder with him. And then the what I call the missile, the middle safety, is going to trail him and hit the A gap. And if it's a pass, he becomes a quarterback spy. Then the defensive end is just playing C gap. To the field, it's just cover 3 with the spur being like our guy who can play the RPO. If you try to like put it down into the mesh and then pull it back out, he's just sitting there waiting for the ball to spill out to him. He's just a flat defender, and then that corner's down out looking 2-1. So it's the alignments aren't that different. Just the weak side end is just heavy, like hit up to inside shoulder, and he's just trying to read that guard and just run through that guard's outside shoulder. And if it happens that it goes away, he's a bender. The biggest thing is teaching point would be Sam has got to go to the inside shoulder of the guard, get on his foot, give him the big stick with his inside foot, dip and rip outside, rip his numbers off his jersey. Star's got to work through the post. Nothing gets deeper than him, deeper than the deepest little fire zone cover 3 with a pattern match in there. You want me to go into the fire zones even though it's a run?
Yeah, sure, man.
All right, so like the backside is pretty much manned up. He's going to have help underneath, but he's pretty much taking him man to man. And then we're match, carry, and deliver across the board. So they're matching anything to the flat, which means if they get any route under 5 yards, they'll match it looking for the next thing, and then they'll zone off on it. If it ends up going vertical, they'll run with the seam. They bang and sink. So they're going to take his inside shoulder and start sinking with it, try to make sure it doesn't sneak in there. And then what would happen is the bandit, the one thing about the coverage is the bandit would have to take the hole because we're vacating it with our 2 middle players. So he'd have to become the whole player, but he's already kind of slow playing it, and he's working there late. So you got your bandits, your whole player, and then your free safety and your spurs are your flat players. So they're looking 2-3 or 3-2, depending on what they have on their side. And the star is working through the posts 3-2-1, just like regular rules. We're going to press up the corner so it looks like man, and they're bailing off playing thirds. And then our star and our will are cheap players. So star is strong safety. We're in like a 3-4 look. So the star is going to come over and line up 8 yards by 8 by 2 inside of number 2, and the free's going to walk over 3 so that it's not just uncovered. And he's going to run what we call the slow post. So he's only getting like 8 to 10 yards because we're bringing 6. So hopefully he can get there. But he's going to sit there on the snap just so we cover everything down. And then on the snap, he's going to get to the short post. So we're thinking when we go short post, like 10 to 12 yards, that means there's some kind of pressure coming. So we're going to try to go ahead, and we're thinking big hit, pick 6. Because if somebody tries to throw something over the middle, he should be able to sneak back there. Corner is going to bail out, looking through number 2-1. Since we got trips, he can go 3-2-1. And the spur is going to go. He's going to be our C-gap rusher. Defensive end is going to go B. Nose and Sam are running a little X stunt or a cross blitz where they're switching A gaps. In on the other side is going to come in B gap, and then the bandit's going to come C. And on the back side, the Will is also our other cheap player, so he's going to be 8 by 2 on the one receiver to his side. And he can. Well, actually, I'm wrong on that because it's trips. He's going to cheat over. He'll line up almost over top of the nose guard, like he'll be way cheated over to do this. And so what the cheap players do, the star and the Will, they're just reading the quarterback's eyes. So wherever his shoulder turns, if he turns his shoulders this way, they're just pushing at the same time. So that way if let's say it goes to the field, my safety will become my flat defender, and he's not letting anything cross his face, and then my will push and be the hole. And then if it goes to the weak side, the will's going to look at his shoulders. He turns his shoulders. He's now going inside of the number one receiver, and he's the flat defender. And then my star is going to push over into the hole. It's unconventional, but it allows you to bring some pressure and not play cover zero. And the thought is that wherever you go, there's three guys around the ball. If he tried to run the ball on you and it hit, it's not just cover zero. Everybody's turning and running. So
with the whole stadium expecting mesh with those splits, we're not going to run mesh. We got the Y is to the boundary there. That's our tight end. So that's going to be a bigger body that's a good pass catcher. So we're going to have him work up vertical and run a corner out to the back pylon. So quarterback's going to catch it. He's going to peek there. If there's two safeties, then what he's going to do is for sure pull the safety on his side over with him. If we got the matchup, we'll put it up to him, let him go up and get the ball. But essentially what we're doing, if it's split safeties, we're pulling it where we're going to have leverage on our 3x1 side or on our trip side. So quarterback's going to catch it. He's going to take a three. We're going to keep the back end just to block because, don't want to get sacked here. We at least want to get that throw off. So we're going to drop back 1, 2, 3, got our shoulders turned, staring right at the Y on the corner route. And if that's not there, we're flipping our hips and we're looking to throw the Z right down the middle to the back to the goalpost, looking to put it up high. And what we're doing with the X there, so Z's number 2. So we're going to have number 2 going. What we're going to do with the X is kind of have him come up and trail behind him, number 1. And then he's going to set it down right at the 1 yard line. So he's going to curl it up on the hash right at the 1. So what we're kind of trying to do there is force them to either play the front of the end zone or play the back of the end zone. So we'll throw low to the front, basically have them fall into the end zone, or throw high to the back and let our Z go up and get it at the goalpost. And what we're doing with the H is he's just going to come underneath and he's going to wheel straight to the back pylon. So that gives our quarterback, that's a route that's going to take a little bit longer to get to, and it gives our quarterback kind of an outlet. So he catches it, he's going to look to the right, put it up to the corner, we'll pull him over, and then he's flipping it straight over, looking to throw Z to the back of the end zone, X right underneath him. And if that's not there, we're just lobbing it up to that back pylon, and we should time out where the H is still on the run, and he's not just kind of waiting for a jump ball in the back of the end zone. And so for us, from a terminology standpoint, we'd just call that open flip 93 Y corner. Coach Mallard, appreciate you having me on. Been fun doing this. It's definitely something different than what I've kind of done when I made the rounds on all of the podcasts and YouTube channels, things like that. So I think it's a pretty cool thing that you do. So for me, most of my social media, I'm pretty private through Instagram, Facebook. Don't really use that much for football, but Twitter I use only for football. My Twitter is just my name, @StanBedwell. And I basically, since November, I've been doing a lot of these online workshops with Coach Ron Mackey. And he's got a website, thefootballsecrets.com, where right now I've done 3 workshops so far. I got a 4th one coming up here on February 5th, and that'll essentially, I will have covered the entire offense then, and then I'll probably do one more in March that's going to go over how we game plan, practice plan, all of that good stuff. Maybe watch a game and explain, thought process behind the calls that we're doing, stuff like that. But if you write me on Twitter, then always happy to help guys. I do there's the workshops. I can get links to that. I do one-on-one Zoom sessions, and I've also been traveling pretty much this whole month of February. I'm traveling every weekend around the country, teaching the air raid to high school staffs. So I'm kind of doing consulting there, and always, helping out Coach Mummy with the whole air raid certified thing. So if guys write me on Twitter, then I can give them a pretty big discount on there as well. So pretty much anything you want to know, just write me on Twitter, and I'm really accessible. I'll get back in. Anybody that writes me, I'll always write you back.
You can contact me on Twitter at Coach David Hill. Currently, I am not coaching. I did not coach last fall. Previous to that, I had 15 years of coaching. And if there's anything I can help anybody with, mostly multiple odd looks with some 4-down stuff as well. 2 years ago in South Carolina 5A, we had one of the top 10 scoring defenses in the state and 30 turnovers in one season, including block punts. So if there's anything I can help you with, we still got film, still like talk ball. Like I said, not active, but we're willing to help anybody that wants to have a little bit of odd front defense or even front defense and a little bit of coverage and blitzing. So message me on there.